Hey guys, welcome back. Quick video today on the second type of statistical data representation that we're going to look at in this unit called the two-way table. It once again deals with bivariate data, which means it's going to have two variables to it. It's just a way of looking at the two to see if there's a relationship between them. So, with that in mind, let's get right into it. Two-way tables. Okay, what you're about to see is an example of a two-way table. It shows a relationship between two different variables. Most of this data is collected in some sort of survey. Okay, tables usually have totals for each column and each row. Here's an example of what a two-way table looks like. Now, in this two-way table, the two variables are a type of car and someone's gender. So, and it doesn't really matter where you put them, but over here, we see on the left-hand side, this is the gender part. That's the one variable. And then over here, this is the car, the type of car. That's our second variable. So I guess this must have been a survey where they went up to people on the street and said, which type of car would you prefer, an SUV or a sports car? And they also noted if the person was male or female. So this number right here shows that 21 males preferred a sport utility vehicle. So when they surveyed people, 21 were male that preferred a sport utility vehicle. This 39 here is males that preferred sports cars. And you can go ahead and you can sort of read the rest. The females that preferred the SUVs is 135. The females that preferred a sports car was 45. Now, what I want to also focus on is these numbers at the end. This here, if you look at it, it's the total for the row. So what this represents is the total number of males. This number here is the total for this row, so it's the total number of females. As opposed to these numbers down here, this 135, this 156 represents the total for this column. So this is the total number of people who preferred an SUV. And to the right here, we have the total number of people that preferred a sports car. So I might ask some basic questions like, how many females were surveyed? Or how many males preferred a sports car? Those would be some basic questions that you could ask about this. Now, question more might be like, well, how can you analyze this? What does this data tell us? Well, what I can tell from this data is that if you're a male, so if we look at the male column here, or male row, I should say, if you're a male, you're more likely to prefer a sports car than an SUV because it's 39 to 21. Whereas if you're a female, it appears you're more likely to prefer an SUV compared to a sports car because that number is 135 to 45. So those are some things that I now understand. It seems like what the preference is for males and females. On top of that, I can also look at the overall preference. It looks like there's much more people that prefer an SUV to a sports car. But I have to look a little deeper when I say that because if you also notice over here, this data was not collected equally. There is 3 times as many females that were asked than males. There's only 60 males and 180 females. So if females prefer an SUV and there were 3 times more females asked, it's expected that our data will show that more people like an SUV. So I think what we really need to do is make sure that we have what we call no bias to our data. It should have the same number of males and females asked. That way there's no bias. This number over here in the corner is the total number of people that were surveyed, 240. Okay, so one thing is I could ask you some questions about the data that's in the table. Another thing I might require or ask of you guys is to take a look at a table that's partially filled in and try to fill it in yourself. You go, well, how can I do that? Well, let's start to fill some things in. Like, let's look at the do not complete review sheet row. 5 people passed it, 10 people failed it. So that must mean this is a total of 15. Now let me pause for a second. I don't think I talked to you about what this data is. This is the number of people on the column here. This is the people that completed or did not complete a review sheet. And in the row up here, these are the people that either passed the test or failed the test. Okay, so now if that's 15, I can look here and I can see that 10 and this is 11 as the total. So this has got to be 1. 50 and 1 give me 51. Now I know that this is 66 and this is 55. Okay, so now I've filled in the table. All those numbers work. And now what does it tell us? Now we can start to analyze our data. Well, what I know is that if you were someone who completed the review sheet, look at these people, you probably passed the test. Of the people that completed the review sheet, there's 51 of them. 50 of them passed and only 1 of them failed. So it's pretty safe to say if you complete the review sheet, you're probably going to pass the test. Now, is the same true? What if I don't do the review sheet? Does that mean I'm going to fail? Well, if I look at the people that did not complete it, 15 people didn't do it. 10 of them failed. But still, 5 of them were able to pass. So it's not as direct a correlation as it was if you completed it. So just because I don't complete it doesn't mean I'm going to be guaranteed to fail. Whereas on the other hand, if I did complete it, I'm almost guaranteed to pass. So that's just a way to analyze this two-way table. We're going to get into some more analysis in some upcoming videos where you actually have to figure out percentages and things. But for today, just going to ask you a couple of those things. Can you read one? Can you fill some in? And can you do some simple analysis? All right. Well, that's it for today. That's a two-way table. Good luck with the homework. Remember, we're available on Wednesday for the Google Meet. That will be at, let me think of the time on that, 10:40. So if you have not yet come and you need to, 10:40 on that's Mondays. Wednesdays we go 12 to 1. So 12:40. 12:40 on Wednesday. Forget the new times. All right. Miss you guys, and we'll see you soon.